Hello again everybody, this is Mr. Everything. I'm coming back at you with another computer tutorial video. In this video we're going to be comparing my old i7 3770 to my i7 9700K. It's a recent build that I just swapped motherboards and processors and memory DDR, but I kept the same graphics card. And in this first test we're going to use Nova Bench. Nova Bench will provide you with some numbers. It'll test a variety of things on your computer, and it will give you a score. Now that score you can use to compare to the world or to your previous build. Luckily I had enough foresight to go ahead and run these two benchmark tests on my 3770 so that when I got the new 9700 I would be able to benchmark it and make this video and compare. Now you notice the FPS on the left side is like 80 and the FPS on the right is like 100. So the only things changed, remember, is the memory and the processor, not the graphics card. The graphics card is actually the exact same. And then it shows that I've got a score of 795 on the left and a score of 1119 on the right, so pretty close to double. Not exactly, but pretty close to double. The RAM score, believe it or not, is about the same, but there's 32 at slower speed and 16 at a faster speed. So the 16 gigabytes at a faster speed equates pretty close to 32 at a slower speed. You'll also notice that the overall score is 2565 compared to the 1757, and also the GPU score is larger, even though the only thing I changed was the processor and memory. Alright, now the next one we're going to be doing is Passmark Benchmarks. Something I want you to know, on the right hand side I click Run All Tests, and on the left side I did not select that. I ran individual tests, not really sure which tests I would need. So what I did was, through the magic of video editing, I paired up the tests from the 3770 to the 9700K. And you'll notice that the scores, are, the numerical scores are in the bottom left. As they run, they populate. Well, the 9700K in the CPU benchmarks are doing sometimes 4 times as much. Or double at least double. You can pause this video at any time and zoom in or check out any of these different benchmarks. This is just to help you out if you're contemplating getting a new processor. If you've got an old processor, you will be surprised at improving your graphics and improving your FPS and your it's not always changing out the graphics card. The graphics card does some impact, but that's the constant in this benchmark. The only thing that's changed mainly is processor and memory. Alright, we're going into the 2D graphics, which is flat graphics, and you will see that 9700K is populating that woodland scene super fast. And then it jumps to a test that I found was very unique, in that they were testing the different fonts. Each one of those is a different font. They would cycle through the fonts, they would scroll up and down with the picture, they would zoom in and zoom out to just to see if the processor could keep up. And then they would also do a benchmark on Windows and cycling through different menu options and scrolling up and down. And you can see the processor on the right hand side is killing the processor on the left. I mean, you're going through a lot of the menu options a lot faster, and yeah, so just keep watching. And you can see the scores in blue at the bottom, how they compare. They're crushing them. Crushing them. Alright, now you can check out the FPS on these symbols here. you're looking at somewhere around 17 to 36. Or maybe it's 40 to 100. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, the amount of difference. Now we're going to do a 3D graphics test at 720 resolution, and you'll notice it's 150 compared to 250. Passmark will do a 4K test, but my system doesn't support 4K video. All I've got is 1080p monitors, so it will downscale it to 1080p, and that'll be the next test. Oh no, I lied. This is the 1080p test, and you'll notice that the standard 1080p test fails on the 3770. It only is able to render some of it, not all of it. And I have a feeling that that was partially my fault due to clicking off the screen when I was doing the recording. Oh, you notice when it came back it was stuttering. And there's the 1080 downscaled. It is 2x multi-sampling, 44 FPS on the left and about 53 FPS on the right. They're putting particle effects, lens flares, texture screens. Yeah, they wanted to put a test on the graphics card and the CPU. All right, now if you squint and you look real close, you'll see the FPSs in the white bars above each of the graphics. And this is just deformation and color blending, and you can see the FPSs are super high on both. So that's at the super high FPSs, it's about the same. Now this is physical testing. It's testing the ability to computate like where the balls would land or how they would splash or blend together. So it's not graphics, it's more like physical action, like where the balls are going to be, and you'll notice that the FPS on the right was way higher. Now I did do a memory test. This is the last test I did where I was just testing the speed of the memory, and you can kind of watch and see how it affects the scores, but you'll also see the speed at which it populates. Like I'm already on the 4th on the right, and then the 4th populates on the left. Alright guys, well thank you for coming out and checking out these benchmarks. I appreciate you. If you want to like and subscribe to the channel, please do. Otherwise, I'm in the middle of, like, I've already recorded the assembly of my build. Now I just have to upload it and edit it. So I'll see you then.